Hey guys, welcome back to another great game of CEDH. Starting us off today is Gabe on Rog Thras. This deck has really taken off with the realization that Gaia's Cradle is a pretty nifty card. And with the printing of Valley Flood color, Displacer Kitten, and the newly unearthed Aboro Breeze color lines, this is a super sweet deck to pilot. Next up is Cedh from Elder Dingus Highlander on Tayam. This is a multi-layered creature combo list, aiming to stick their commander and use their ability to recur everything and anything, from stax elements to combo pieces. In the third spot we have Hidden on Ureni. Teamer Dragons is here to party, aiming for food chain lines while relying on just casting powerful dragons to pressure your opponents and gain value. And bringing up the rear is Zach on Deadpool. The prankster of the multiverse is here on World Gorger combo. Along with Breach and Dual Caster, this is a fast Rakdos list, with the powerful backup of just stealing your opponent's best creatures.
Alright, block there, kill that. Oh, that is trample. Guess I'm just dead on board.
Gabe starts off the game with the Prismatic Vista, cracking the fetch for Basic Forest. A Chromox then comes out with Gabe imprinting a Pact of Negation, tapping out to cast a Sylvan Scrying, finding a Gaia's Cradle, and ending his turn with his Commander Rograk. CJ plays and cracks a Wooded Foothills for a Savannah, tapping the land for a Soul Ring. Hidden has a tapped Commercial District and Surveils, deciding to keep the card on top. Zach also has a Wooded Foothills, as he takes a page out of Hidden's book as he grabs out a Ruckus Theater, surveilling away a Lazotep Quarry. Gabe starts off his turn with his Commander Thrasios into his Tutored Cradle, but passes it there. CJ plays out a Flooded Strand, cracking it for Scrublands, and he then slams down a Voice of Victory, to the chagrin of the table, only to make it worse as he then follows it up with the Dranith Magistrate.
God bless America.
My go?
Yep.
Alright.
God
Draw.
bless America, baby.
I
Those
will
commanders.
cast the Soul Ring.
Oh, he's a threat. He's got a soul ring.
I will
Yeah, he's a
cast
threat.
an Arcane Signet.
Yo, he did the turn one thing.
I will cast a Mana Vault.
All right.
He really did the
He
thing.
missed his
He
land,
really
though.
did the
He missed his
thing.
land.
I did miss the land drop. It was literally, this was my opening hand. I'm like, crap, this ender's tapped.
Yeah.
I will pass the turn.
Zach has an Ancient Tomb, taking 2 for a Professional Facebreaker. Gabe plays out a Besaju as land for turn, and hands the turn over with mana untapped. CJ starts off his turn figuring out his lines, as he casts a Vivian, Champion of the Wilds. Down-ticking the Walker, he looks at the top 3 and exiles a creature. CJ then shocks in an Overgrown Tomb, casting the exiled card, which turns out to be a Wall of Roots.
Yeah,
Thank God it's not Collector Roof.
It's an
Not Collector
extremely
Roof.
good magic card.
It's
not
an extremely
Collector
good
Roof.
magic
That's
card.
extremely scary in that deck, though.
It's
No, I understand, but it's
fine.
not Collector
I'm
Roof.
gonna
Yeah.
put a
And
counter
that's
on
what
it
matters.
and then pass.
Alright.
Hidden plays out a Talon Gates and phases out the Hullbreaker. He taps 6 to cast an Ancient Copper Dragon. Alright, I know I could have used the Talon Gates to get rid of the Dranith and cast my commander, but I have a vision, so let me cook. With Hidden then ending their turn with a Grim Monolith, and CJ adding a green off his wall. Zach has a City of Brass and heads to combat. He swings the Facebreaker at Hidden for 2 and makes a treasure. Zach then hands the turn over to Gabe, who on end step frantic searches. He'll float 2 mana, draw 2, discard a Mox Diamond and an Emergence Zone, and untap his 3 lands, letting him then retap the Cradle to activate Thrasios, to which he bottoms the card and reveals a Deflecting Swat off the top, with CJ also activating his wall. Gabe plays out a Shifting Woodlands and is not happy with that Voice of Victory, as he passes the turn and CJ once again adds green mana. CJ untaps and has his own Talon Gates, which targets Thrasios. Gabe will activate in response as he bottoms the card and puts a Breeding Pool into play. CJ then taps the Talon Gates for a colorless and sacrifices it to a crop rotation. He'll find his own Gaia's Cradle, following that up with his Commander Tayam.
It's unfortunate.
Don't have a million mana?
Yeah, I don't have quite 1,000,001. That's unfortunate.
Oh no, so sad.
It is. It's pretty sad.
Next up is combat, as CJ sends the voice at Zach, triggering the Mobilize to create 2 more warriors, which will each enter with a Vigilance counter. Zach will take 3 as CJ on his second main taps the cradle for 6 green mana. He then activates Tayam, bidding an Eternal Witness, Nature's Rhythm, and an Elvish Mystic, choosing to return the Eternal Witness, which enters with a Vigilance counter and returns the crop rotation on ETB. CJ then recasts the crop rot, sacrificing his cradle to grab out a Gavany Township. Tayam is then activated once again, this time milling a Carrion Feeder, Forest, and an Orcish Bowmaster, with CJ then returning his cradle to the field. The cradle can then be tapped for mana as he casts a Warden of the Grove, following that up by downticking Vivian once more to exile one of the top 3. Granted, the table doesn't have to worry for long, as CJ then casts the exiled card, which turns out to be a Mossborn Hydra. It will enter with an additional +1/+1 counter due to the Warden, along with the Vigilance counter. But looks like the good times are ending as CJ then uses the last of his mana to activate Tayam once more. He mills a Misty, Dryad Arbor, and a Recruiter of the Guard, with CJ not being sure what to take. He finally settles on a Recruiter, which will tutor up a Sylvan Safekeeper, with the Warden at end step gaining a counter. Hidden untaps and takes 1 from his vault. He'll head to combat, sending the dragon at CJ for 6, who can't block.
I will take 6 in the air. Let's see this one treasure.
19. Hell yeah.
All right, do we just die?
With Hidden then following all that up with his surveilled card, Magda, who resolves as Hidden then sacrifices 5 treasures to search off Magda. Hidden looks through his list and finds a Masswood Nexus as his first search, sacrificing another 5 treasures to grab out a Niv Mizzet. Hidden will then cast a Snap targeting Drannith, triggering Niv, to which Zach will then respond with a Dualcaster Mage. There are no responses to the Dualcaster as Zach makes a copy of the Snap, this time targeting Niv, to which Hidden fires off a Swan Song, triggering Niv. Although responding to that, Gabe then fires off a Fierce Guardianship. Niv triggers with Hidden getting a draw and putting 1 point of damage towards Rograk. This will then force Gabe's hand as he casts a Reveal Deflecting Swat, targeting Hidden Snap. Hidden will draw and once again put a point of damage at Rog, to which Gabe then sacrifices it to a Flare of Duplication. Hidden draws and puts a point of damage, this time on the Drannith. Flare then resolves and copies Snap, targeting the Ancient Copper Dragon. The dragon is bounced and Gabe then untaps 2 lands. The Deflecting Swat then changes Hidden Snap to target Tayam. The Fierce then counters Hidden Swansong as Hidden then finally draws off his Niv trigger, and puts the second point of damage on the Drannith. The copy of Snap then resolves as Niv is bounced, and finally Hidden Snap resolves, now bouncing Tayam. Hidden now hopes he has wrung his opponents out of interaction, as he sacrifices 5 more treasures, this time finding a Hullbreaker Horror.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. It was all bait.
This actually was all bait.
It was all bait.
I know I couldn't go off with Hullbreaker Horror because I didn't think I had a way of stopping Deflecting Swat specifically.
Hidden then casts a Mystic Remora, triggering the Hullbreaker to bounce his Mana Vault. With this, he can then loop his Mana Vault and Soul Ring for Infinite Colorless, which then lets him sub in his Arcane Signet for infinite colored mana as well. Finally ending the loop as he casts a Destiny Spinner to bounce the Drannith. Hidden then casts the other Niv in his hand, which lets him use his infinite mana to ping the table down, winning Hidden the game. Game review. Well, it looks like I rolled that dice in more ways than one. It was super scary having to leave Tayam out with his voice of victory. And looking back, we got lucky that CJ forgot about that Nature's Rhythm, as that probably would have gotten him the win. But funnily enough, earlier that day, I was talking to CJ about the easiest Magda win in Ureni, only for me to high roll a few hours later. And for all the haters out there, my next roll was on a non-spin down, which was a 17, and still would have gotten me the win. Although, funnily enough, what saved me was actually Gabe revealing that Deflecting Swat off the top, as I would have jammed that Hull Breacher first and gotten blown out. So I appreciate the save. Thanks to everyone that joined for the game, and before everyone leaves, I want to thank our special Patreon members, Cyfox and Holy Septic, for their support of the channel, along with all of our other Patreon supporters as well. And remember, never give up, even if you're dead on board. I'll see you guys later.